All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So today we're going to be covering the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 as we draw closer and closer to the Pixel's version of a folding device, and then Samsung's own Z Fold 5. Now, I've had this since it came out. This is obviously my burgundy version of the Z Fold 4. It's gone through every update. It's doing phenomenal. But I wanted to touch bases again because I've been using it on the latest software, the March patch, and One UI 5.1. Everything that's the latest from Samsung, it is on this device, and it has been for quite some time, along with my other Samsung devices, the S23 Ultra, and all those devices are all updated to the latest version. So, but this device right here, the first question I want to answer, and also, by the way, this is being recorded with the Sony Xperia Pro I and not my official Sony a6100 with the Sigma lens. Now, let's get into this video. The question that I've gotten a lot about this device is this or the S23 Ultra. And I think I've said it a bunch of times, this. Now, while the Ultra, S23 Ultra is great, it's just an S22 Ultra. So if I'm not going to choose the S22 Ultra over the Fold 4, you should probably know that I'm not going to choose the S23 Ultra as well over the Fold 4. The versatility, the bigger screen, the pen input, yeah, you can't put the pen inside, but that fingerprint reader is fast on the side, always accurate, and you have pen support for this device. Now, you might not have it on the outer display, but there are other pens I've shown you that you can actually use on the outer display that are universal stylus. But I get it. I understand your point. You cannot use the official stylus on the outside display, but you can use it on this inner display, which is absolutely just phenomenal, and it is bigger than the S23 Ultra. This folds into a small tablet, which is going to be something that already trumps the S23 Ultra in its own. Just the display alone, this is a much better display than the Ultra's display. Not just because it's bigger, but, okay, well, yeah, it is because it's bigger, but I can tuck it away, basically, and then go back down to a even smaller form factor for portability for my device. And then again, on the outside display, I have the option, if I don't want to have a very wide display, this is much easier on the hand than the Ultra. On its worst day, this is great. So I think when it comes to the versatility of the Z Fold lineup, the Ultra is never gonna really be that. This is their king of the crop, top of the line. This is the money shot for them. This is it, as far as I see it. And they're selling a ton more of these devices than people will actually probably think, especially the Z Flip 4. So, hardware-wise, the Fold 4 it trumps the traditional slab of the S23 Ultra in every single way. Now, this video is about this phone. I had to answer that question because so many people keep asking, well, what about this and what about this? It's this. This is the phone to beat if you're on Samsung. If you just want everything they have to, if you want what they have to, they threw everything in the bucket pretty much. This is, to me, their best offering for people just have the money to spend. I was going to say blow, but if you have the money to toss out there and, and I'm speaking in terms of full MSRP, everybody, obviously, you can get these for discounted prices, but if you have the money out there, this is still going to be higher in price probably than the Ultras, no matter what you do, depending on the scenario. But this is the cream of the crop for Samsung, I say. Now, battery life on this thing is absolutely great. I've learned to tweak the battery. Now, I have my power saver on now, and you gotta say, well, Jay, you never used power saver before. You're right. I've never used power saver on my Z Fold 4. I don't need to. However, after messing with the Ultra for some time, I pretty much decided I'm going to use power saving mode because I still get all my notifications. And what that's done, I mean, you can tweak power saving mode any way you want to. What that's done is really, really opened up the door to another 25%, maybe 30% of battery on the Z Fold 4. This phone, I could already go a long way with it, but now I have no problem with keeping this turned on. It is absolutely great. Everything comes in like it should, and just no problems with battery. I could turn it off, and I'm not even, as you can see, I'm not using the ultra power saving mode. The ultra power saving mode turns it all the way down, and you get options to access to 8 things. Now, you can still access the other items. You just have to open your task manager, and, basically, that's what it is. So, I say to people who I know one thing I did notice here. I got to jump over to software because the shelf, the taskbar is actually turned off. The navigation bar, it's turned off for some reason. It's been turning itself off. When I do an update, it turns itself off for some reason. I don't know what that's about, but it does it. But that's, you can see how to turn it back on. You just go into display, go down the bottom, go to taskbar. But nonetheless, I am all the way happy about the functionality of this device when it comes to software. Yeah, like I said, I don't have a pin to hide away in the device, but the default case, you have access to the pin. You have other cases where you can store the pin away depending on the actual case. But software and performance on here, folks, it matches obviously other phones because it still has a very powerful processor. While it may not be the latest 8 Gen 2 and all this, it's still great, folks. This is a phenomenal processor. You won't have any problems with software and performance. And this actually offers more in the software realm than the Ultra. Editing on this also is better because you get that big canvas. So if you're worried about performance ratio to battery, you can tweak the battery like I did, or you don't have to turn it on at all. There's people that don't even use power saving. Like I wasn't doing it before, and I was getting phenomenal battery and still doing all the editing and everything. As a matter of fact, this phone was the phone I was using to shoot content on the channel with for quite some time in the month of January. This is the Samsung official leather case, if you're wondering. In terms of January and leading into February and into December, I was using this phone a lot to shoot. I was using it for vlogs. I was using it for a lot of things. But mid-cycle update, I am recording with the Sony Xperia Pro I. No external microphones, shooting in manual mode, or pro mode, I should say, and just shooting. But nonetheless, hardware, cameras, screen, performance, I mean, everything is great on here. It's just going to come down to what you want to do when you're selecting a Samsung device, your purpose of having it. Now, again, the reason I like this device is because I can shrink it down to just a smaller form factor. In the form factor, even more narrow than the Sony Xperia devices, because Sony Xperia devices are 21 and this is 20 by 9. So you're going to have to choose what Samsung device you want. But running this device on One UI 5.1 March update, and I'm recording this in March. Running this device on this has been great, no problems whatsoever. I just don't have a problem to report. I'm more excited about talking about what's to come. So what are they going to do when it comes to the Z Fold 5? I've already put out a few videos on that, but the Pixel folding device is set to drop. I think it's probably going to drop in around summertime. There's going to be some good options, and it's going to be a different form factor from what I can tell in the leaks and the rumors and all that. Whether it's true or not, we don't know, but by today's standards, most of the stuff that leaks turns out to be the device. So do you have the Z Fold 4? Are you interested in getting rid of yours for the Pixel Fold? Because the Pixel is going to have some software tweaks, obviously, because of the taskbar. Android 12L, it's going to have some perks. We don't know what they are yet, though. We don't know what Google has planned for their folding device. Along with that, the Pixel 8 is starting to rumor, and the Pixel 7a should drop before the Pixel Fold. We'll see. Again, summertime, you should start to see some stuff from Google, and I'm pretty excited. I want there to be competition for this folding device because, folks, this is the cream of the crop for Samsung in general. When people ask, hey, do you like your S23 Ultra better? No, I don't. I love the flex mode on here. I love being able to have a viewfinder when you turn on the camera right here. And I didn't go too far into cameras. I don't feel there's a need to at this point, but having that cover display, as you can see there's my Sigma up there, which is not connected. And here's the Sony Pro I. Woo. I told you I'm going to use this thing to record as much content. But having the ability to do that right there is absolutely great, man. I don't know of other phones that have some of the capabilities of Samsung's folding devices that even measure up. And video quality too. So another rumor about the Fold 5 before I get out of here is that it's going to have these same cameras. Some people might complain about that, but folks, that's not really a complaint that I would be too worried about, because when people say they don't like a camera, I just use the camera and put footage out, and then they end up liking, saying the footage is good, but they just can't believe it's coming from this device or whatever device it is. This device has great cameras. You know, don't be fooled by it. It is a phenomenal set of cameras. Yeah, it doesn't have the extended telephoto lens or the periscope lens, but do you really need that? Unless you're just being creepy, you don't really need it. So it's a want. It's not a necessity. So I'm gonna get out of here. I personally feel like using the Sony Xperia Pro I to record content, I think you're gonna you're gonna love it. You're going to love it. This phone has been doing phenomenal to record content on the channel. As you can see, I don't have it up here replacing my Sony just yet. Got to put it to the test. I got some, the cable that you see going on, I put it on the charger because you can do pass-through so it doesn't overheat. If you want to use the Sony Xperia I for just continuous shooting, plug it into Type-C. It goes straight through the device. I'm going to touch it. It's not warm at all to the touch, and you can shoot as long as you need to shoot. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. The Z Fold 5 is coming. The Z Fold 4 is still here. Do you plan on giving up your Z Fold 4? Have you given up your Z Fold 4 for the Ultra? Or are you going to hold on and wait and get the Z Fold 5 and swap it out? Let's talk about it in the comments. It's your man Jay. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.